Okay, so this is a little embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell you why I first started playing Harvest Moon games. Back in the day, let's say around 2009, I discovered dating sims. I thought they were cool because, you know, guys, and it was during this time that I came across Harvest Moon Island of Happiness. I wasn't sure if I wanted to buy it. It looked okay, I'd be trying to grow things and make this random island better, but as soon as I saw the words eligible and bachelors on the back of the case, I was sold. Of course, as I played the game, I started to like the gameplay, and that led to me playing the Harvest Moon games that came after it. But when I first picked up this game, it was all for the bachelors, man. And without them, I might not have even started playing Harvest Moon games. So today I'm bringing you a list of my top 10 bachelors from Harvest Moon. At least, from the games I've played. Number 10. Alan from Harvest Moon: A New Beginning. Now, as much as I liked this guy, I ended up leaving him for a different bachelor. Why? Because he's another example of looks aren't everything. I mean, he looks really good, and why wouldn't he? He's a hairstylist. That, and he has a very charming personality. But as soon as I got to a certain relationship level with him, he started getting creepier than me. He became possessive and kind of douchey. Some girls might like that, but I couldn't help but feel I'd been misled. Or maybe I just didn't pick up on the signs when I first started trying to build up my relationship with him. Even so, it was still kind of hard to choose someone else, even though every time I brought Alan a gift, he creeped me out. I liked him, but it just wasn't meant to be. Number 9. Riker from Story of Seasons. You know, in real life, I might be hesitant about dating a chef, mostly because I don't need someone judging me over how rarely I cook anything other than baked beans and mashed potatoes. Yeah, hate all you want. I'll be over here eating the best food $3 can buy. But Riker doesn't treat you like an idiot for not being a pro. If you cook for him, chances are he'll like it. Or at least if he doesn't, he'll probably be polite about it. Overall, he's got a very nice personality, even if he does get rather serious about his work sometimes. Also, I fucking love his hair. How can anyone have hair that looks that fabulous? Just saying. And even if you don't want to consider him as a partner, he still serves a huge purpose in the game. Not only does he sell delicious food, which is really enough of a reason to like him, he also gives you recipes sometimes. Now granted, you have to order 129 meals to get all of them, but I'm certain there are people out there who would eat KFC 1,000 times just to get a copy of the original recipe. So I guess if you want a good-looking guy who can cook, Riker's your man. Number 8. Lloyd from Harvest Moon: Grand Bazarre. No, it's not just because he's wearing glasses. Lloyd has sort of a mysterious air to him. He doesn't say much, and he just leaves you wondering. He's traveled the world, but for some reason he decided to settle down in some random village with a failing bazaar. Why? Maybe it was just because fate wanted him to meet this farmer. Okay, I'm being dramatic, but seriously, there is something very interesting about Lloyd. I guess that's all I needed to go after him. The only problem is you have to become friends with Sherry and Felix before you can marry him. Ugh, no, I'm not breaking out a Spice Girls reference, it's not worth it. But for Lloyd, I guess I could at least try to, talk to people. He better appreciate it. Lloyd is cool, but you should be ready to put in some effort to get with him. Number 7. Will from Harvest Moon: Sunshine Islands. If you'll recall, this guy was a new bachelor in Sunshine Islands, while the other bachelors were copied from Island of Happiness. Now, some of you might be aware that if you date a rich guy, you might get accused of being a gold digger. But in Harvest Moon, you don't have to worry about that. So you might choose to date Will, or as he's known back home, William, Terry, Lewis, Andrew, Carrick, Jonathan, Dredge, Hams, Reading, Roger, Southwark, Ulrich, Plymouth Jr., Regison III. I'm not kidding, that's really his full name. Anyway, you might think this guy, being raised in a wealthy, sheltered environment, might be snobby or lacking self-awareness. But actually, Will is quite the gentleman, and even though he's rich, he likes simple things like flowers. Also, he lives on a yacht, which should be enough of a reason to at least try to date him, because who doesn't want the chance to say, my boyfriend has a fucking yacht? And if that wasn't enough, he even has a white horse. If you wanted to date a prince in Sunshine Islands, this is about as close as you could possibly get. Number 6. Denny from Harvest Moon: Island of Happiness and Sunshine Islands. Can I just say that this guy is so unbelievably adorable? Just look at him, always smiling and being optimistic. He's great. Denny is a fisherman, which might scare you off at first if you hate seafood, but once you talk to him, you realize that fishing isn't just his job, it's his life. And I can appreciate that kind of dedication to something. The only thing was, in Island of Happiness, I kind of ended up marrying him by accident. See, Vaughn kept being stubborn and refusing my proposal every time I showed him the blue feather, so out of boredom and frustration, I showed the feather to everyone else in town, and when I showed it to Denny, he accepted the proposal. Now granted, it was my fault because I did talk to him every day and give him fish every now and then, but I didn't think things had progressed that far. But I figured fuck it and married him anyway. What can I say? If Vaughn cared, he should have put a feather on it. So that's why Denny is number 6, because he's not afraid of commitment. Number 5, Mikhail from Harvest Moon, The Tale of Two Towns. And yes, I might be pronouncing his name wrong, because there doesn't seem to be any universally agreed way to say it. I could call him Mihairu, because that's his name in the Japanese version, but fuck it, because I'm probably pronouncing that wrong too. Anyway, let's take a look at this guy. First of all, I'd date him just for a chance to steal that coat, because it's awesome, but aside from that, Mikhail is a violinist and is serious about his music. He's also polite and enjoys the beauty of nature. But it will take a while to get to know him because he's a private sort of person, so I guess it's up to you if you're willing to put in the effort. And it's more effort than you'd think. All of the best gifts to give him are stupidly hard to find or make. And just to add to an already complicated relationship, he leaves in the summer because he doesn't like the heat. I mean, if he just wore something other than a sweater and a trench coat, he might be okay, but how could I possibly ask him to take that risk? But even with all that, I never wanted to give up on him. I guess he's rolling with the whole absence makes the heart grow fonder thing, and that's what kept me around. Now that I think about it, it's more convenient because you don't have to get him gifts for a whole season. On the whole, Mikhail is totally worth it. Number 4, Camille from Story of Seasons and Cam from Harvest Moon, The Tale of Two Towns. You may think this is cheating, but make no mistake, Cam and Camille are the same guy. He started off as a florist in Tale of Two Towns. Apparently he left because he wanted to look for different types of flowers, but I think he just wanted to get the fuck out of Bluebell. The stores there close when it rains. No, I'm still not over it. Anyway, he looks a lot better in Story of Seasons, but he doesn't show up for at least a year. Like I said before, Camille is a florist. He also always wears purple, which means with me being the purple maple leaf, we'd pretty much be the ultimate couple. But I guess that's not the only reason to like him. He's another silent type of guy. He doesn't say much about himself, or even really talk a lot in general. But once you become friends with him, you'll find he's very sweet. He's also super easy to find gifts for because flowers are just about everywhere. Or just show him a cat, he likes those too. He even puts up a request for fish in Tale of Two Towns so he can feed a stray cat he found. Damn it, that's just too cute. Number 3, Kana from Harvest Moon, The Tale of Two Towns. Kana owns a pet shop. Do I really need to say anything else? That's enough of a reason to date him right there. Fine, I'll elaborate. For starters, his hair is perfect, I want that shirt, and this guy is also fucking jacked. Does he even lift? You bet your ass he does. Matter of fact, he's probably one of the most active characters in the game, besides you and maybe Dirk. Yeah, horses take more work than you'd think. Kana is also pretty chill. Apparently he's totally down for partying at any time too, which kinda makes me want to break out a Dom Mazzetti joke, but it doesn't really fit because Kana is pretty nice to the people around him. He's got a horse as well. What's its name? Hayate? No, what? Why did I even think of that? I've only seen the abridged parody of that show. Anyway, that horse is pretty much Kana's favorite animal, and if you try, you can become his favorite person. Number 2, Amir from Harvest Moon, Grand Bazarre, and A New Beginning. I'll just be focusing on him in A New Beginning because I never really paid much attention to him in Grand Bazarre. You know how I said that Will is pretty close to being a prince? Well, Amir actually is a prince. Damn. I don't know if I'm good enough to date royalty, but I'll give it a try. And let's be real, you deserve at least a chance with Amir after you build a fucking mansion for him. So yeah, it's gonna take a lot of time and money before you'll even get to meet him. Seriously. Yo, Dunhill, when are you gonna start paying me for all this shit I'm doing? Never? Okay, fuck it, whatever. Anyway, even though Amir is a prince, he's 12th in line for the throne, so he obviously doesn't have to do much, but he still leaves every fall to go back to his home country. But he will stay year-round if you marry him. So, if I marry a prince, does that make me a princess? It's a legit question. Okay, so I'm starting to realize that these bachelors are showing a pattern of having nicer looking hair than me, and Amir is certainly no exception. But that's not the only reason why he's great. He notices the progress you've made in the town, and he'll compliment you for it. At least somebody's grateful. Dunhill. So yeah, like some others on this list, getting with Amir is a long process, but I think it's worth it. Number 1. Vaughn from Harvest Moon, Island of Happiness, and Sunshine Islands. Okay, maybe some of you saw this coming, but this guy, he was the first. When the me of days past stumbled into the Harvest Moon series, Vaughn was there waiting for me. Just look at him. He's one of the few people who can actually wear a cowboy hat without looking ridiculous. A lot of other bachelors in this series are constantly trying to be the cold loner, an antisocial outcast who only becomes friends with very specific people. And Vaughn is the only one that pulled it off flawlessly. He is a grouchy fucker when you first meet him, and it takes time to get him to open up. But unlike the other bachelors who are quiet at first, Vaughn is a much greater challenge. Why? Because you only see him 2 days a week. The combined difficulties of his personality and lack of time to see him made me want to try even harder to get his attention. Of course, it's a lot easier when you have a cow because milk is one of his favorite gifts. Just don't give him carrots. I'm pretty sure that will make him hate you forever. But I don't blame him. Have you ever tried giving someone vegetables for Valentine's Day? Have fun being single. But yeah, Vaughn is great. He loves animals, he's cool, and his eyes are purple. Had to find my color somewhere. Vaughn is my number 1 bachelor in Harvest Moon. So there you go, those are my top 10 Harvest Moon bachelors. I'm probably not gonna do a top 10 bachelorettes list, I think it should be clear why. Besides, the number 1 bachelorette is Tina because I want her outfit so bad. I love it. Anyway, shout out to Jasmine Wolfgirl for suggesting the idea for this video. And if you want to see what's next, subscribe, and the next video will be posted soon. I promise. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.